Okay, folks, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the Finance and Committee meeting of Tuesday, March the 18th. And Madam Clerk, can we do a roll call, please? Electronic roll call has been called. I didn't see it. Is everybody here? All members are present either in chamber or online. Any declarations of interest? Being none, our first item of business is the election of the vice chair. So I'll call for nominations for the position of vice chair of finance and administration. Is there any nominators? Chair Henry.
I'll give you a nomination for Councillor Girard and seconded by Councillor Crawford.
Thank you. Councillor Yamada.
I would like to move Councillor Leahy.
Seconder.
Mayor Schumer.
He is now. We changed them all. This is our first meeting. So we have new members. Councillor Crawford and Councillor Yamada are new to our committee. And they're very welcome, too. I can't wait to get their input on these important matters. So it's duly moved and seconded by Councillor Yamada and seconded by Mayor Schumer. Ask a motion to move the nominations be closed. Moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor McDougall. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Councillor Leahy, you wish to stand?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, Councillor Girard. Thank you. A motion to close nominations was moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor McDougall. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Okay, I'm going to do, the first one moved was Girard. I'm going to do a roll call alphabetically. So the two nominees are Councillor Girard and Councillor Leahy. Councillor Crawford. Yes. Councillor Girard. Chair Henry. Councillor Leahy. Councillor McDougall. Councillor Schumer.
Councillor Leahy.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Leahy?
Councillor Leahy.
Okay. Councillor Yamada. Councillor Yamada, please say again.
Councillor Leahy.
Okay. Myself, I'll go with Councillor Girard. So the vote has been taken and Councillor Girard has been selected as Vice Chair of the Finance and Administration Committee. Thank you both for letting your names stand. We have no statutory public meetings. There's no presentations. Although I did jump over the adoption of the minutes of December 10th, it seems so long ago. So I would like a mover of the adoption of the minutes, Councillor Leahy, seconded by Councillor Girard. Corrections, omissions, being none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Our first delegation has withdrawn, and I understand is coming at our next meeting. And our second delegation is from Vijay Jan, founder and president, in regards to our motion to ban the Nazi swastika and remove the word swastika from the motion. Vijay, are you online? Oh, Vijay, can you press the request to speak button, please? It is the talking talking head at the bottom. Vijay, are you with us? Is he online? Okay, Vijay, you have to hit the button at the middle of your screen at the bottom. There you are. Welcome. Welcome to our committee, Vijay. You have 5 minutes to offer your comments to the committee. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, the chair and the Finance and Administration Committee for giving me opportunity to speak here. Myself, Vijay Jain. I am president of Vishwa Jain Sangathan Canada, a Jain organization. My organization works for protecting and promoting the Jain heritage and promoting the Jain values, which are primarily truth and non-violence, which is compassion. And I'm here to talk about the word swastika, which is very sacred to us, to Jains and to Hindus and many other faiths. And swastika is sacred to us. And this is with reference to the motion that were passed in the region council and the Whitby City Council earlier. Next slide, please. Yeah. So the reference motion which I put on the slide here, the first motion was passed on February 12th in the Durham Region Council, and similar motion was passed in Whitby City Council on 3rd February to ban the Nazi swastika in Canada. Both the places the motion was passed. Now we understand that the intent there was to address the growing anti-Semitism in Canada, and the sign referred there was Nazi Hakenkreuz or Nazi hook cross. But using the word like a Nazi swastika is not acceptable to minority Jain and Hindu Canadians. And I want to make it like a disclaimer, I want to put it here. We stand in solidarity with Jewish community. We fully support all the efforts by authorities to address growing anti-Semitism in Canada, but we object to usage of the word swastika in hate context, and we object to associate swastika word with Nazi. Next slide, please. I have given here what does the word swastika mean to us and how it's used in our prayers and in everywhere we use. So I given on the screen there. So swastika is a Sanskrit word which means well-being of all. When we offer during our worshipping and puja at the beginning, when we offer flowers, we to our God, we invoke the word swastika there. And I gave the examples there. The material is there for you to read afterwards. Many Jain and Hindu parents keep their children name as swastika. Many Hindu businesses, Jain businesses, they also keep their name as swastika. So that's a profound usage of swastika word in our faith, in our culture. Next slide, please. Now, I will talk about is there any relationship to Nazi or anti-Semitism with the swastika? So swastika word has no relation to Latin or any of its derivative European languages, whether English or French or German or any language. Hitler or Nazi never used the word swastika. They used the word Hakenkreuz in German or hook cross in English. That's where they were inspired. Holocaust was carried under Nazi Hakenkreuz or hook cross banner, not the swastika banner though. It was New York Times first time associating swastika word with a Nazi with malicious intent to accuse Hindu civilization as an influencing factor for Hitler's action. Later, the usage of Nazi swastika word was amplified by media with malicious intent towards Hindu civilization. Next slide, please. Now, what is the impact of using swastika word in hate context or associating swastika with Nazi? It deprives Jain and Hindu Canadians their religious rights to use their most auspicious word in their prayers. It deprives Jain and Hindu Canadians their religious rights to name their children and businesses with a swastika name. Many Jain and Hindu Canadians become vulnerable for legal action and unnecessary harassment despite having no involvement in anti-Semitism or hate activities. Confuses Jain and Hindu Canadians children about understanding their religious scriptures and worshipping. Next slide, please. Now, there is a good news too. we are very fortunate that the people in the West also now, when we started our education efforts, people are realizing it and they are making changes. And I have like a few slides from this slide onward. Next one, I have examples where the corrections have been made in the West. In Canada's parliament, there was a bill proposed in February 2022, Bill C-229. It was first reading where it was about banning some certain symbols, and Nazi swastika word was used. The bill, it was private member bill proposed by Honorable MP Peter Julian. But when Hindu community met with Honorable MP, he understood and he agreed to change the word Nazi swastika with Nazi hook cross. We have an email exchange with him. I can provide you if requested. So he was very much ready to change the word in the bill when it would come to the second reading, but it never came there and it never became law. Next, please. Last month, Peel Police on their website in the head.
Your time's up, so I'm just going to need a motion to extend. Moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor McDougall to extend for 2 minutes. All those in favor? Opposed? That carried. VJ, you have 2 more minutes. Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Last month, Peel Police replaced the word swastika with the word Nazi hate symbol on their website. So an example is here. And this was the hate. This was related to hate context. Please, next slide, please. Honorable MP Chandra Arya, in the House of Commons, he issued a statement in February 2022, giving a call to all Canadians not to use word swastika for the Nazi symbol of hatred. The statement is there for you to read. Next slide, please. A legislation was passed in Victoria State in Australia banning anti-Semitic symbols. In their legislation, they clearly called out that is a Nazi Hakenkreuz what they are banning, and they made clear distinction between the word swastika and Nazi Hakenkreuz. The material is there for the screenshot of the material. The legislation is provided there. Next slide, please. There is a leading Jewish advocacy group, Tafsik organization. In their recent tweet, they used the word Nazi Hakenkreuz. They did not call it swastika. This is a Canadian Jewish group. Next slide, please. In USA, Oregon State, they issued a circular. Their education department issued a circular clearly calling out difference between Hakenkreuz and swastika, and not to call swastika not to call the Nazi hate symbol of hatred as swastika. The material is there, and I can send further material as well. Next slide, please. Now, I met with Mr. Richard Robertson, who is from B'nai B'rith, Canada, who were running the campaign to ban the Nazi, using the word Nazi swastika. We educated them, they understood, they expressed their apology also, and they are now committed not to use word Nazi swastika going forward. They will use the Nazi Hakenkreuz. We have a commitment from them. I had invited him to be today in the meeting today, but he has other commitments, so he could not join. And they will be issuing a formal press release pretty soon. So you can see that also coming in next few days. So I think next slide, please. So what are we requesting? So we are requesting to amend the motions, what I mentioned there. Kindly amend those motions and remove the word swastika from there. And of course, we must ban Nazi Hakenkreuz or Nazi hook cross, but we should not use the word swastika in the hate context. The third bullet there, issue a press release about the amended motions and educate people not to use swastika word in hate context. And also issue a notification to Durham Region Police Department to update their earlier communication with reference to swastika. Last month, there's an incident happened, and Durham Police issued statement calling swastika. That is when we came to know, and we were kind of very much disturbed. And then we started. That's when we are reaching out to you. So our request, kindly, please give us our religious rights to use the word swastika in the context it should be used, and remove from the motion of the hate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, VJ. Councillor Schumer, question.
Yes, thank you. And I guess it's a question more so to staff, just for clarification, both for members of committee and, of course, for the presenter, that would this require a motion to reconsider, or how exactly would this go about?
Yes, the recommendation from this committee would be to go to council to reconsider the previous motion, and it would have to be passed on a two-thirds majority before council could make those amendments, if this committee so deems fit to make that determination.
Yeah, thank you. Just for
Mr.
clarification.
Clerk, do you want to clarify, or did I accurately reflect that? Madam Clerk?
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, that was accurate. Because council was the body that originally considered this recommendation, council would need to reconsider it. So this committee could make a motion asking council to reconsider the original recommendation. It would need a two-thirds vote to pass at council.
Any further discussion? Request? Councillor Leahy?
Yeah, no, thank you, and through you to the delegate. Thank you so much for coming here this evening. We really appreciate your insight, and speaking to the members of the community, I definitely have heard those particular concerns, so I have no issue bringing forward that to make that amendment that aligns with your concerns and still aligns with the objective from B'nai B'rith, and it aligns with all of our objectives, is really just working together to ban hate and take a strong stand against what's not welcome in our community. And I will do the same. I will commit to you to do the same in Whitby as well, so that we can make that adjustment. So I don't know if you need, so I'll leave my statement here because I'll make a motion, but when the delegate's done, I guess.
Well, the delegate's done. We're now doing questions.
Okay, so I'm happy to make a
Do we
motion
do it
to
under
the
new
effect.
business or do we do it under? Okay. It would be appropriate to have a motion. I think the most understandable is the words Nazi symbol of hate, in my view, because people don't understand the rest of the discussion.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's fine. Nazi symbol hate's fine.
yeah. So there's a motion moved by Councillor Leahy. I'll need a seconder to recommend to Regional Council to reconsider the previous decision and to change Nazi swastikas to the terminology of Nazi symbol of hate. Councillor McDougall, you'll second that? Yes. Okay. Councillor Yamada, Councillor Yamada, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Thank you. No, I'm happy to support the change in the wording. I've had an opportunity now to be out over the last 6 months, as I usually do, talking to residents and welcoming people here in the new part of West Whitby, and to see the use of the swastika in Jain, Hindu, South Asian cultures, whether it's on the door or in the house, and coming to understand the importance of the symbol to the culture, and I'm happy to support the work that you're doing, Vijay, and to work alongside you to make sure that we advance interests that are, or advance issues that are in the best interest of our community, and that is ensuring that we can all live peaceful and we can all live without the fear of hate. Thank you.
Councillor Gerard?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vijay, for the presentation and the education that came with that. I'm wondering if a motion should be to refer it to regional staff to investigate. The reason I say that is that we've learned a lot here, that the previous decision was based on what we knew at the time and the education that we were provided by those that did the delegation. I'm concerned that if we make this decision, that we're not making a decision based on all information, if there's other perspectives that could be provided by people doing fulsome research. So while I certainly agree with the objective that Vijay you put forward, to recommend that council then make another decision based on this perspective alone without potentially more perspectives, I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Counselor, I think you make a good point. I think staff could do an undertaking to review the matter and give us any relevant controversy that might be in front of us before next Wednesday. So we do have 8 days to consider any factors. There will be this posted in the agenda, which will give it a further opportunity for any interested parties to offer a different perspective.
So is that enough time for them to then provide that research? I have no idea how much that's fair? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Councillor Kerr, welcome.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair. The thing I'm uncertain about with this motion is that it's Nazi symbol singular, and it's vague. It's not specific. So if you want to make it specific, it should be specific. You know, there are other Nazi symbols of hate, and if we put an S to it, then that might include the spectrum, and I think that might be the best way to go to. I mean, somebody could argue, well, there's a Hindu swastika and there's a whatever swastika, and this a Nazi swastika is different than those other ones. So I can see why some people would say, well, as long as you have the word Nazi swastika, everybody knows what it is. But if the desire is to eliminate that and call it a symbol of hate, there are other symbols of hate arising out of the Nazi regime, a yellow six-pointed star, a pink triangle, the Waffen-SS symbol. None of those, I believe, are acceptable in today's society. So perhaps that might be the best way. And we're getting a nod from VJ, thank you. And so maybe the adding of an S would simply cover the spectrum of all Nazi symbols. Thank you.
I think that'd be a friendly amendment, and we can undertake to do that. And I'm sure we'll have a debate next Wednesday when we revisit this item, and excellent addition to it. So there's a motion duly moved and seconded, and with a friendly amendment that would make a recommendation to Regional Council next week to reconsider the item and to change terminology to Nazi symbols of hate. And we do have an opportunity over the course of the next 8 days to get any clarity that's required from that. And is there any further debate in regards to that? Being none, I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? That item's carried. Thank you very much.
Very quick thing. Do I need to make a delegation tomorrow or next Wednesday at Regional Council?
You can sign up, VJ, to do a delegation next Wednesday at council? No?
Okay.
Oh, we don't allow delegations in regards to that. We can indicate, Councillor McDougall, 1 second. Yes?
I believe we can make a recommendation to have the delegate present at Regional Council.
Okay.
Which I'm happy to
Why don't
move.
we do that?
Thank you.
So it's moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor Leahy that we recommend to council that our friend VJ gets an opportunity to make a presentation to council Wednesday next. It's duly moved and seconded. Is there any debate in regards to the motion? Being none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. So VJ, council will have to approve the opportunity for you to do a delegation next Wednesday, but.
Now that we have a motion?
Oh, we don't?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you next Wednesday. The clerk's department will be in touch. Thank you. You guys are throwing all kinds of rules at me this morning. So next item is correspondence from the City of Pickering in regards to council's support of the Supporting Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. The recommendations received for information. Do we have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor McDougall. Debate. Discussion. Councillor McDougall.
Thank you. I'm very happy to see this come to us. It's a very important, I want to say very important issue. It's not all these are disabilities are present for everybody to see, and you never know who has what disability. So I think the Sunflower Campaign is really good for identifying that and for everybody to remember to be compassionate, because for every sunflower you see, there's probably several that you don't see. So I'm just happy to see this come forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I know this might be on order, but can I ask the CEO, is the region considering doing anything? Are you familiar with the program?
I'm not familiar with the program, but I'm just going to look back at Alison Hector Alexander, who works on our accessibility.
Yes, we are familiar with the program, and we are exploring the program to bring it here to the region.
Great. I think that's great. We did this at Pickering, and it's becoming more universal in regards to public companies as well as private companies and public agencies to have an acceptance and do it in a respectful way that deals with people that might need some help and might need some understanding, and I think it does it in a very humane way. So it passed at our council by a 6-1 vote. You can guess who the one was, and I bought a sunflower tie after that just to show some solidarity to that. Councillor Crawford.
It was unanimous at Ajax.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? That item, opposed? That item is carried. Next item is a report from the, in regards to Durham Region Accessibility Advisory Committee. It's moved by Chair Henry. Move the recommendation that's in camera, correct? It's private? No, it isn't. It is? Oh, okay. The attachment is. I saw the resume, that's all it was. There is a recommendation for the following 3 persons be appointed to the committee: Julia Stevenson, Mabina Jaffer, and Lori Shamar. Moved by Chair Henry, second. Councillor Crawford, debate. Being none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Next item is correspondence under finance from the municipality of Clarington regarding the alternative revenue source. Recommendations refer to consideration of the 2026 strategic property tax study. Recommendation? We have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Leahy, seconder. Councillor Gerard. Recommendation is referred to consideration. Any debate for that? No requests online? That being the case, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Next item is from the town of Ajax in regards to impacts to international student programs, changes to local post-secondary programs. It was pulled from Mayor Collier, and the recommendation is to receive for information. I'm going to ask for a motion before I get the speaker, which is Councillor Collier. Well, maybe he can't move it anyway. So moved by Councillor Crawford, second by Councillor Leahy. Mayor Collier, you're on.
Good morning, Chair Ash. Thank you for the opportunity to be here to speak to this today. This is a motion from Ajax Council that was in the council information package that pulled to bring forward here, hopefully for endorsement. I would request that from the Finance Committee. I just want to speak to it quickly. I was approached by, and Mayor Ash, you may have been approached as well, by the president of Durham College, Dr. Elaine Pop, about the changes to the international student program and how it's impacted local colleges and universities. I'm sure we're all aware of the reduction in international students. That was the change that was made by the federal government. But like many of these things, there are sometimes some unintended consequences. In this case, universities, they didn't really make any change to the programming requirements. But for colleges, what they did was only 1/3 of the programs that the colleges offer are eligible for students that want to extend their visas. International students want to extend their visas and stay in Canada afterwards. So 2/3 have to leave the country after they finish school, not able to use the skills that they've learned here. Many of these things are culinary and those types of things that are offered. We all know the big culinary school here at Durham College. I think we've all eaten there several times. So what this motion is requesting is that these 34 items that were excluded be added back. Just so you know, financially, Durham College this year has a $40 million deficit. Through early retirement packages and other things, they've managed to shrink that down to 9 million, but that's still a 9 million deficit. And we also know that colleges can't just raise their tuition, kind of like we would have to raise our taxes to pay for the shortfall. Those are set by the province. So it's a bit of a 1-2 punch. Their revenue, international students are not coming to colleges because they can't stay and use their skills after. So enrollment obviously is down, but then they can't make up the difference through the tuition. This would help address that. So I will leave it there with the committee and your support in endorsing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussions? Chair Henry.
Chair, thank you. I'll give you an amendment to endorse the recommendation.
Okay. It was moved by Crawford, second by Leahy. The amendment is to receive for information. Chair Henry has changed the recommendation from receive for information to endorse. Do I need a seconder for that? Councillor Leahy. Debate on the endorsement motion. Chair Henry? No?
No, thank you, Chair. The endorsement, the region has already taken the opportunity to write letters to the appropriate government departments to talk about what's going on. So this simply continues to support the people out there that are struggling, and the college has been a big part of the region for over 55 years, 56 years.
Great. Any further debate? Being none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Reports. First item for consideration is the annual report of remuneration expenses for members of the regional committee and regional council and regional council appointments as per the Municipal Act 2001, Section 25. Is there a mover? Moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor McDougall. Questions? Being none, I'm going to call a question then. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Next item is approval of the purchase of 9 leased buses, Durham Regional Transit. Moved by Councillor Leahy, second by Councillor Gerard. Questions? Oh, I'm sorry. As Chair of Finance, I'm Chair of Finance. Chair of Transit, sorry. So we'll let Councillor Crawford move it and Councillor Leahy second it. How's that? Debate. Councillor Leahy.
Perfect, thank you. Through you to staff, so just a question around the pieces there. So by purchasing it for the $540,000, if I understand the report correctly, we just won't have to pay the monthly lease costs anymore, but the buses are likely towards the end of life anyways. Is that a clear understanding? Because we may need the buses longer than originally planned during the original lease plan.
The chair, I believe, General Manager
Holmes is here. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you. And through the chair, the leased buses that we've had those since the fire in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
We've recently ordered last year, once we knew where we were sitting with funding, we ordered 23 and 24 buses towards the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
With supply chain challenges that we're understanding now, as of this year, we're not expecting those now until later in 2026. We were hoping for them earlier. So we'll need to lease these buses for at least 2 more years. And at that perspective, they are near end of life, but we can get a couple more years out of it, which will get us through until those new buses from 23 and 24 arrive in 2026. After that time, if there's still useful life in those buses, we'll likely assign those to non-revenue services such as training buses, et cetera, which will be a good use of those resources afterwards. So by purchasing them now, we forego the need to lease, and it's actually saving us some money over the next 2 years.
Okay, fair enough. And I guess at the time, this, again, because of the stopgap measure, there was really no way to know with the timing of how long it would take for the new purchases. I guess it would have been hard to have a perfect crystal ball.
Through the chair, correct.
All right, fair enough. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Councillor Yamato. Councillor Yamato, you have the floor. Councillor Yamato, you have the floor.
Thank you. My question
Is
in
this a
pertaining
proof of life video?
my question pertaining to the purchase of these buses that are going to be delivered in 2026, are they coming from a U.S. company or Canadian company?
Mr. Holmes, I was going to ask a similar question in regards to our purchasing and what we're doing about tariffs, but now that you have the floor, you can answer that question.
So through the chair, our current contract for buses, we joined the Metrolinx Transit Procurement Initiative, which a number of organizations participate in. The current contract is for supply of buses from New Flyer Industries, which is the Canadian operations are based out of Winnipeg, but it is a Canadian national company. Sorry, it's an arm of an American company, but it is based out of Winnipeg. Nova Bus, which is the other Canadian manufacturer, is a Canadian company, and it is based out of Quebec. But our current contract is with New Flyer through the Metrolinx contracting arrangement.
How is there a way? Can you speak to if there is a way of us to get out of these contracts with American bus companies and start shifting our ask for production to Nova, the Quebec company?
Thank you.
The CAO wants to respond.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. I will be providing an update at Committee of the Whole tomorrow with respect to everything that we are doing to manage the potential tariff situation, including looking at our various procurement options, contracts, and supply chain issues. We're very conscious in doing this, however, to minimize the impact on Canadian jobs. So companies may have a subsidiary in Canada by shifting our purchasing to another organization. We are putting at risk Canadian jobs, so it's a delicate balance. But I will have more information at Council with respect to the work that Finance, the CAO's office, and Legal are jointly undertaking to look at our procurement requirements.
What about with this example today? Is there a way that we could, because if these buses aren't coming for another year and a half, a year, maybe a little bit more, is there, because it says 2026, do we know if they're coming at the beginning of 26, the end of 26? Have these buses been started to be produced? Are we, what would be the cost of breaking this contract so we could get a fully Canadian company building fully Canadian buses for fully Canadian people to be able to take?
The buses are already being manufactured. I'm going to turn it over to General Manager Holmes, who can provide additional details. But again, this is part of a Metrolinx procurement.
Mr. Holmes, over to you.
Thank you, and my apologies through the chair. I did misspeak earlier. Nova Bus is owned by Volvo, which is a Swedish company, and they have the Canadian arm here, which is based out of Quebec.
It's not American.
So
Swedish isn't American.
So as the CAO indicated, we are reviewing all of our contract situations. Because the contract is with Metrolinx, we know that we have engaged with them as well. They're looking at various options. At this point in time, we don't have an answer to that, but we are looking at what options may be available if that was the choice to proceed.
So we don't, through you, Mr. Chair, to staff, so we don't know really what Metrolinx is doing at this point to ensure Canadian procurement?
So if I may, through the chair.
Commissioner?
Our purchasing department is in contact with Metrolinx to talk about all of these issues. There are some complexities, of course, around every contract that's negotiated and the terms around it. So we will be, as the CAO mentioned, reporting back. It's not before you today, that bus order, so there is time. But I would suggest to you, and we've had lots of discussions with the CAO's office with respect to tariffs. Our challenge, I would think overall, would be that if we got out of the queue for this contract, then we would be even longer in the queue for the next contract. And one of our concerns with respect to tariffs is that if it is going to affect, I'll say, the lower income population of Durham, having buses deferred for instead of 2026, perhaps 2028, then you are going to have a serious service delivery problem that may affect the most vulnerable people who are going to be requiring support throughout the whole tariff scenario. So I would suggest to you there's also those concerns with respect to maintaining our service plans and the service demands that may be even greater during economic challenges. So if we don't have orders for those buses in the sequence, that will be a problem. And I think perhaps Bill is going to add to my commentary.
Yes, and thank you through the chair. Thank you, Nancy. Our 23, 24, and 25 bus orders are with New Flyer are in the queue for production. And again, we are expecting those to move. Any changes to that process, as Commissioner Finance indicated, would delay the delivery by a minimum of 1 year, if not longer, which would have a significant impact on our ability to deliver the existing level of service, let alone any growth moving forward.
Through you to the CAO, if we have, when you come back with your report on the tariffs and procurement, would we be able to look at the possibility of getting out of some of these joint procurement programs if they are not moving forward on Canadian only procurement? Because I'm here to put Canada first. I want to put my country first. And procurement, from what I'm seeing and listening to the mayor of Toronto speak yesterday, they're moving forward on this and they're moving forward quickly.
We're certainly looking at all our existing and potential contracts at this time. Some of them we may be able to go alternative routes. Others we will not. As Nancy said, in the case of the buses, that there is the significant service impacts to consider and the fact that we are in the chain. Tomorrow you'll be getting a presentation on our tariff response. Anticipated changes to our purchasing bylaw will likely be coming forward in April. We're looking at both what we can do immediately in the short term and what long-term revisions are required to enhance purchases within Canada and beyond. But what you will note tomorrow, there are a number of areas where we are heavily dependent on U.S. suppliers and where there are very few alternatives. So we have to be cautious in terms of ensuring the health and safety of the services that we're delivering.
I agree, and to a certain extent, but I also agree that we need to put Canada first. Thank you.
Councillor, elbows up. I asked the same question yesterday about fire truck procurement, and I think all councillors and councils are making those inquiries. So I'm glad our staff's on top of it and will be getting back to us. Councillor Crawford.
Yeah, if I could just have General Manager Holmes confirm, we did use Nova buses, or Nova for, was it the electric buses they provided?
Thank you. Through the chair, the previous contract for our bus purchases through the Metrolinx TPI was with Nova. So our latest buses up until now have been Nova, including the 6 battery electric buses that we're piloting right now.
So it was Metrolinx that changed that?
It was the end of the contract term through that process, and they went out to competitive bid, and New Flyer was successful in winning that contract.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, we have motion duly moved and seconded. If there's no further debate, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That item is carried. Next item is in regards to the 2024-25 Annual Risk Management Insurance Update. And the recommendation is that Finance and Admin recommend to Council that this report be received for information. Do I have a mover? Councillor Leahy, seconded by Councillor Gord. Councillor Leahy, you have the floor.
Perfect, thank you. through the chair to staff. So again, just reviewing the report, just interesting on higher the cost. So we confirmed that we were able to secure cyber insurance through this year, because I know that's come up as a potential issue and challenges for what's happened to date.
Through the chair, that's correct. The region does have it for this year, and we do have our back pocket plan to do a self-insured group if each year gets more and more challenging to secure. Then we do have a backup plan that we're working on.
And so it's, and then, but usually we get in advance if they decided they're going to get out of the cyber insurance business, we would have the time to set that up.
That's correct, or to report to this council on how the region itself would self-insure, and then we would bring the locals in. Our self-insurance works really well if we have more than one party. And so sometimes it depends as well on whether the locals get renewals or not. And we actually take care of that for the locals, so we have insights on all of that. And there are requirements, notice requirements.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And then the other piece on the report, just speaking about the raised premiums on the different pieces between water treatment plant, between other different pieces for transit. So is that all, those are all on top, like those are with individual insurance companies? Because we have our overall insurance, they have specific insurance riders. So, and it sounds like and my understanding from reading the report, it seems like it's multiple insurance providers to provide each of those unique needs.
So through the chair, that's correct. So our general insurance providers don't always provide specialty coverages for certain areas. And so that's where we go outside and get bids on those. The other thing that happens, and the reason why some of it shows up here, it may be the same provider, but they're not part of the insurance pool. They're regional coverages only. So in that case, we wouldn't split the costs through the pool, right? So you see it as a standalone separate because it's the region's it's only a regional issue.
And on the pool piece, if I have my notes right, so it was about 8.8% increase. Is that compared to the industry average from the last year? Is that good, bad, or ugly?
It's quite favorable.
Okay.
Very favorable, yes. Yeah.
So you're seeing, and other municipalities are seeing much higher increases in those costs?
To the extent that, as was noted, and if you've seen in the papers lately, Simcoe County has now been addressing all their locals and are setting up an insurance pool in order to start to try to leverage the benefits that the region of Durham sees.
Yeah, and then because we have the higher deductible, how high did we raise the deductible at all, or is it?
It remains at 500,000 simply because we actually do actuarial analysis on that, and the premium savings, in our view, are not sufficient enough for us to increase the deductible and take on that cost level. So at this point, we go through that process every 2 or 3 years to verify that, and at this point, they wouldn't give us enough of a cut on our premium to make it worthwhile.
To be worthwhile. Okay, no, fair enough. So no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all staff's effort on that piece. It's important. Anything we do to mitigate costs is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further questions or debate on the motion? Motion is to recommend to council to accept this information, the report for information. If there's no further debate, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? The item is carried. We have no advisory committees. We have no confidential matters. Any other business? The date of the next meeting is April the 8th. 2025, that's 2 weeks today, believe it or not. 2 weeks today? 2 weeks today. I guess the calendar is April 1st is early this year, right? In terms of our council schedule. So next item is the adjournment. Councillor Crawford, you move adjournment. Good. And second by Councillor Leahy. All those in favor? Opposed? That item was carried. Democracy was swift today. Thank you.